practices, for the practices. So, for example, so purification of the body is one of the results of your Kriya practices. These are Kriyas, Kapalabhati, and then pranayama exercises. Lot of pranayama exercises are there that prepares you actually to become aware of the breathing system. Like alternate nostril breathing, that you know, left nostril inhalation, right nostril exhalation, right nostril inhalation, left nostril inhalation, exhalation. So when you are holding the breath inside, what happens? You are not simply holding the breath. When you hold the breath, what happens? You took the breath, it is staying there, you are not allowed to put it out, and it is staying inside. After some time, there will be a pressure. A strong pressure is coming. The pressure is, the carbon dioxide in the body is increasing. And then it comes to a point that you may suffocate and you may die. And you push yourself to that position, and then the release. You breathe out. Then you are relieved now. You get into a calm state. And there is a little silence there. You watch the silence, you take the breath again, and then the pressure comes, then the relieving of the pressure. So you are pushing you to the pressure and to relieve the pressure. This is usually we are not aware of. In practice, when you are doing Kriya practices, you become aware of this. So what happens? You started to breathe consciously. You become aware of the base area of your existence, which is your breathing system. So purifying your body, becoming aware of what is happening internally and in the physiological activities. Because you sharpen your concentration. You sharpen your concentration into the breath, into the breathing system. Mainly that is the work. And then, like I will... Then, when you are holding the breath inside, as in suppose you are holding the breath inside, and at the time when the pressure grows, you get a chance. The chance is when you relieve it, when you are relieved of that, what happens in your mind? You are holding it inside, there is a pressure growing, and you breathe it out, you exhale, and then there is a relief. And when the relief comes, what happens in your mind? What is going on in your mind? You are studying that. And when you are inhaling, what is the change, subtle change that happens in your mind? You are studying. And when you are holding inside, what happens in the mind? This is how the breathing system you observe, and your awareness is increasing about yourself. Otherwise, we are simply breathing. Breathing is not at all a tool, just for living you do. But in Kriya Yoga, generally in yoga, this is used as a tool for you to expand your awareness. You are trying to expand your awareness. And this is a deeper work. And this is actually a deeper work which we do in yoga, especially in Kriya Yoga. It is not simple breathing. You go on breathing and exhaling, and in between there is the null point where nothing is happening, and you study what happens in your mind. When you take in what is happening, when it is held, what is happening, when you are relieving, what is happening, and when the breath is staying outside, what's happening in your mind. So slowly you get control over your awareness, your mind. And then when you have sufficient control, you can redirect your pranic flow into any part of the body which you want it to go. That means you got control over the breathing system and the pranic movement. And when you get the control over the pranic system, what happens is prana carries the mind. That's the basic dictum in yoga. Prana is the carrier of the mind. Breath is the carrier of prana. Prana is the carrier, the vehicle of the mind. When you get control, you can control your mind and you can allow the mind, not the way the mind wants to do, but you have an intent. The intent is expansion of your awareness and just growing high in your expansion of awareness. That's the idea. So for that, actually, we are doing Kriya Yoga. Pranayama exercises are all for that. But in Kriya Yoga, connecting with this, we are connecting mantras, certain mantras they have, and mantras are connected with the breathing system, and then you will understand how your mind is behaving with the mantra and the breathing exercises. It's a deep study, and it is not simply doing some breathing and finishing your breathing. It is not like that. It's a very sharp, focused study that you do. And if a person is doing like that, his awareness expands like anything. He sees every action is supported by the breathing system, and the mind is controlled by the prana, and there is a connection between mind, prana, and the breath. So when you started to control this, you have control, established a control on your whole system. And that is then whatever you want, you can redirect it and you can get complete control over your thing. Then you ask your mind to stay quietly. When you ask the mind to stay quietly, the mind has to stay quietly. Now the mind is controlling everybody, and now the practice, in the case of a practitioner who has control over the system, and he asks the mind to do this. Stop, the mind will stop. Or start, it will start. This is the control that comes. For that, they make use of the breathing system as a base tool for Kriya Yoga practices. There are purificatory programs and all kinds of exercises are all there. Alongside with that, the main work that the Kriya Yogi is doing is awareness of breathing for the expansion of awareness. That is the main thing. There are results. I have put down certain points. Purification of the body, purification of breath, purification of nervous system, awakening of the inner awareness that we have. I have described all these things, now I am putting out the point. Awakening of inner awareness. Then it is going deeper, that at will you can see what the mind is doing. And so suppose if you are driven by some egoistic thing, selfish things or egoistic things, then as you know this, that you are entering there, and it's very easy to withdraw yourself from that, or at least keep as an observer of what is going on in the mind. When you start to become an observer of the mind, it cannot do the same thing as it was used to do, as it used to do. So then what happens? The ego pattern, the pattern that is created, motivated by yourself, like your egoistic trip, and that will start to disintegrate. And then you started to feel more open and not that selfish or not that egoistic. This is the spiritual side of it. By the control of your breathing system, you are entering deeper into the mind and refining your awareness, and also transforming the awareness from negativity to positivity. Dissolution of ego-driven patterns. And then what happens? mind is turbulent, maybe at times, and then you understand the why and what are the triggers that is actually creating the problem now. And then you can also withdraw yourself from that. Thereby, what will happen? Establishing inner silence. That is the base motto. So, gradually, purification of the body, purification of the nervous system, awakening of inner awareness, dissolution of ego-driven patterns, establishing inner silence. Purification of, if you want to write it down, you can. Purification of the body, purification of the nervous system, awakening of the inner awareness, dissolution of ego-driven patterns, and establishing inner silence. Then the foundation of this yoga is staying in three basic things. That is